What's going on, Lakers Nation? What's going on, Lakers Fast Break family? What's going on, Lakers Corner family? We live in effect, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Today is Wednesday, March 13th. And we're gonna go ahead and get into all type of Lakers content, baby. This is our typical Lakers therapy session, man. So if you guys are in a chat, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. We're gonna get into really any and all Lakers news. Gonna answer your guys's deepest and latest, darkest, or most desirable Lakers questions, man. We're gonna get into all that. So come in to the Lakers Corner, come chill with us, and let's go ahead and get into some Lakers content. I do got a guest that's going to be coming through in a little bit. I did send him the link. He's special special guest. You guys should see here joining us soon. But anyway, you guys, what's good for those y'all that do not know me? My name is John. I am host of two channels, host of Clutch Talk, as you see right here, NBA Talk Show, bringing you all type of Lakers content 2 times per week. Also host of Lakers Corner, which is a YouTube channel that's bringing you strictly all type of Lakers content. And I do come on here and hop on Lakers Fast Break post-game show sometimes. I will be on here tonight against the Kings game. And our GOAT commentator, Gerald, he, gave me the liberty to do some live streams during the week. And we're going to go ahead and get into some of these live streams. And my guest is here. So let me welcome my guest in. My brother, how you doing?
Good, bro. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. Happy to have you here with the Lakers Fast Break live stream, man. For those of y'all that can't tell, I right away off rip. This is my biological brother. Real brother. So Junior, happy to have you. Junior's a big time Lakers fan. As a matter of fact, like he's like 4 years older than me. So for some context out there, because I know everybody in the Fast Break family, y'all call me young, comparatively to Joe and Gerald. So all my hoop knowledge come from him because he been watching hoop before me. So give it up for my brother, Junior. What's good? What's good?
Man, I appreciate it. No, you're far too kind. Like, definitely, just from me being on Earth earlier is when I started watching basketball. But man, I know, John, if you want to hear somebody that's a true professional, true dedicated to the sport of basketball, that's my man John right there. He's running Clutch Talk, running Lakers Corner, and now on Lakers Fast Break as well, man. That you want Lakers coverage? There's your guy right there.
Yep. Come check us out, man. Come check us out. But Junior, let's go ahead and get into it, man. Again, anybody that's out there in the chat, anybody that's out there watching live, go ahead, throw any of y'all questions in the chat. Me and Junior will get into it as we can. But let me go ahead and start it up. And if nobody has nothing in the chat with Junior, I guess since this is your first time being on here, being on Lakers Fast Break, what is I guess, your perspective of how so far this Lakers season has been as of late? I don't know if you want to talk about some Lakers news that we saw as of late, or this next game that we got here coming up later tonight against the Kings. And what's going on, Daniel? Big, huge game tonight. Junior, I don't know if you want to open up with that.
Yeah, no, it is a huge game tonight. We were actually talking off camera a little bit earlier today, and that first game to the Kings was something that we should not have dropped. It was a game that we shouldn't have dropped, that we just got outplayed. AD got outplayed. I mean, he got an early foul trouble, and that's the Lakers' Achilles heel right there. AD is not on the court. It's difficult, especially defensively, and that allowed Sabonis to completely dominate in the paint. And it's something that AD is going to have to watch that foul trouble early on, still be physical without fouling. The Lakers are very, very good at defending without fouling. I know you get a lot of people who don't support the Lakers that think the refs are cheating for them and stuff like that. But realistically, the Lakers are a good team. They're a good team, a good defensive team when it comes to, defending without fouling. And that's going to have to be the key tonight, is just absolutely get in there, don't get in foul trouble, be assertive, be dominant in the paint. That's where the Lakers thrive, is working in the paint, and just go out there and win this game, because this is a huge one. We're coming off 2 huge wins, much needed dubs. And we got to keep it pushing now, because, teams that were playing the Kings and then the Warriors on Saturday, that's direct seeding. That's direct seeding right there that we're fighting one-on-one for. So we absolutely need to win these games. They're not just a win in our record. It's a loss for the teams that we're competing directly against as well. So it's a game that's basically worth double. So absolutely need to win these games.
Absolutely. And just show some love to what's going on in the chat. This our boy Joe. Our boy Joe. We've been hooping with.
What's up, Joe? Oh, I know my guy Joe, of course.
Showing love, Joe. And then Daniel talking about D'Lo getting, he about like 12 3-pointers away from setting history, which is crazy because, I mean, like, you know, you talk about Lakers history. Lakers is one of the greatest franchises of all time. And not saying that D'Lo is not one of the greatest players, but crazy to think like D'Angelo Russell is about to be a historian and a franchise leader. 3-pointers are here coming soon. So
but a big reason for that, though, I'll have to say it has a lot to do with the fact that the game has changed so much. Like 3-pointers were never a part of the game for the longest time, right? Yep. It wasn't until recently, maybe I'd say like a decade or so ago, that it really started to become this 3-point revolution where the 3-point shot started to make a lot more sense. And so now you see all these records getting shattered. I mean, you remember Kobe's record with 12 threes?
Yeah.
How long that stood, right? Yeah. And for the longest time, it seemed like it was going to be an unachievable record, right? No one else was going to get to it. And all of a sudden now it's just like,
I mean, some players are getting up 12 3-pointers per game. Like, I mean, that just wasn't even a thing back then. So the game has evolved.
No, it's crazy. And it's actually funny. I don't remember who I was listening to not that long ago. It might have been Gilbert Arenas, but it was somebody talking about back in the day, like back in, let's say, like mid 2000s, like dropping 50 was like dropping 70 today almost. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you maybe see it once or twice in a season, a couple of times, but now, I mean, shit, you got guys dropping 50. You got at least 1 50-pointer a month in here, you know, if not more. I mean, remember there was that week where it was like Joel and Donovan Mitchell.
70, 50, 30. I mean, all that. Yep.
Everybody's just dropping 50s like it's nothing. So the game has come a long way. You know, it's really the league is the most competitive and clearly the best it's ever been so far.
Absolutely. And show some quick love. Blue Magic, salute, my brother. And for all 20 people that is here in the live chat, appreciate y'all being in here. As I said in the beginning, if y'all want to drop any questions or any comments y'all want to get into Lakers content or not, we can get into really whatever. But, you know, we are in the Lakers corner, so we can get into specifically Lakers content. But until y'all go ahead and drop some in there, Junior, let's talk about the game tonight because, as we mentioned, big game. Not only is it must win because of direct seeding, but as we know, the Lakers do have one of the hardest schedules really coming left like 16, 17 games left. And I mean, if you look at it, I think that the Kings, it's a winnable game. Like, yes, they're, higher seeding than us, but we know that, our best player that we run through is Anthony Davis, right? And we know that Anthony Davis is struggle against Sabonis, but I think that if you just look at Anthony Davis and Sabonis, and compare them side by side, I think you could every single time say that Anthony Davis is the better
on Sundays.
Right, exactly, and twice on Sunday, right? So every day you could say that it's Anthony Davis is the better player. So it's like, okay, we need to take advantage of that. We need to be able to get a win. I think with the Warriors that they're also, tend to be struggling with consistency similar to us, so we can get a win there. The Hawks, I mean, Sadiq Bey just had a tear his ACL season ending, so that's not very good for the Hawks too. So maybe we can get that win. If we pull off these next 3 wins, we're on like a 5-6 game win streak. The 76ers, no light team, but no Joel Embiid. Tyrese Maxey's in and out. And then after the 76ers, we got top tier teams like the Pacers, the Bucks, the Grizzlies aren't top tier.
Who we just beat?
We did just beat. So nonetheless, what I was saying is very, very important game. I was going to get into a little bit of like the ins and outs and the nitty gritty of the game, but let me get into some of these comments first. Let me see what my boy Rondell says. He said, can someone explain why the Lakers trading for Trae Young in the offseason? He is not much better than the version with D'Lo, and we probably have to give up Austin and Rui to get him. You see, so look, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Here's my opinion with this. Here's my opinion with Trae Young, and I've said this a lot of times. I think Trae Young's a really good player, but I don't know offensively. Exactly. Like, I don't know if he is a player that can, at this point in your career, help you win a championship. And here's what I mean by that. He's very ball dominant, like extremely ball dominant, and it's like low key to a fault, right? And when I think of Trae, funnily enough, not game wise, but I compare him to Luka because both are extremely ball dominant. But the way that Luka is ball dominant, it is on a whole nother level, guys. Like, it's like he is not only making himself better, but everybody else around him is just also become their game elevates when Luka's on the court. And I just cannot say the same for Trae Young. His game elevates and his pick and roll partner's game elevate, because yes, you're off that pick and roll with Trae Young. You know, if you give him too much room, then man, that's hand down, man down. He can shoot, and I'll give him all the credit in the world. If you press him up too much, he has a great ability to put the ball right where the big needs it. But he also just has this tunnel vision to where it's only him and the pick and roller coming down court. And it's like you also still have 3 players out there around you that you got to look after. And then also when Trae Young is in the slump, he's the type to where he just needs to shoot his way out of it, which as a basketball player, I totally feel you. But man, I can't have you going, 7 for 25 trying to shoot your way out of it. So in my opinion, I wouldn't even want to go with Trae Young. I do think he's a better player than D'Angelo Russell, granted, but I just wouldn't even want to go in that direction because Trae Young, it wouldn't be enough to get us where we want to. And then, pairing him up with AD. AD also isn't enough. I've already said this. AD is not an A1. AD is a 1B type player. And I think, yes, AD is not a 1A. A 1A, yeah, exactly. I was
interesting. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think he's obviously. I mean, being a big, it's kind of tough, right? Like you're not expecting, like if you put Joel Embiid on a team completely by himself, like you really don't expect him to have, the primary ball handler duties, right? So it's tough for a big to really be a 1A in a sense where there's no one else there to play with them. But I do think if you put somebody that is a guard that is not as good as Anthony Davis, and I think Trae Young is definitely an example of that, right? A guard that's not on the same level as a player like AD, that he would still be successful. Like if for example, let's just use Trae Young as an example. If Trae Young were to come to the Lakers, and let's say this is in a post-LeBron era, and AD is there, I think AD would be the 1A, and Trae obviously would be the 1B.
Yes, but not enough for us to win a championship. That's what I'm saying.
I think it depends on the pieces around the team. I think it depends on how well constructed the team is. So yeah, are they gonna? Is Trae Young and Anthony Davis going to carry a team of Max Christie's to the final? No, right? But are they? If there's a decent roster built around them, I kind of don't see why not. And it depends a lot on the on how the league is looking as well, right? Because I mean, actually, I was just talking earlier about this. The Lakers they're not a bad team. They're not a bad team. It's just that the West is so packed.
Yes.
It's so packed that they just inevitably fall to the 9th seed, right? And you can make an argument that maybe they're not 9th seed. They should be a little bit higher, could be a little bit higher, but maybe I don't think they're like a top 5 team in the West, right? Like off rip. In the regular season, I don't think they are, right? And that's not saying that the Lakers are not a good team. That's saying that the league is just in such a place where it's just every team is a competitor, right? Now, I know you've talked about this a lot and across, just not here on Lakers Fast Break, but on Clutch Talk, on Lakers Corner. The playoffs are built different. The playoffs are built different, and you see what happens. I think, and I'm not going to draw parallels and say that the in-season tournament was the same energy or same level as the playoffs. The way the Lakers were playing in the in-season tournament, it was just these one-pound games, right? You go for it and you go right at these, and you're just going for this win right here. You're not thinking long term, right? You're thinking we need to win we need to be what's in front of us right now. I think the Lakers are a little bit more built for that, but I'm just kind of going down the rabbit hole now a little too much.
I hear you.
In the sense that the Lakers are a team that I think with the proper construction around the team can go far, and I think we have a little bit of that potential there. And going back to Riddell's question here, why we would be trading for Trae? I only see this as a post-LeBron plan.
Yeah.
And I think these are rumors, right? I don't think it's anything like finalized yet that the Lakers are 100% going for Trae. I mean, there's the Clutch links too, which makes it a little bit tough. It's like whenever a player signed with Clutch, and it's LeBron's brand, right?
Dang, that was crazy to Rich Paul. Chill. Rich Paul built it. Chill.
I'm sure he would have built that without LeBron. no. I mean, all credit to him.
Nah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
And if he's funneling, I know he played a big part of getting AD to Los Angeles. So I'm the last person that would be here disrespecting Rich Paul, but I can't undermine LeBron's contribution to clutch either.
Yes, LeBron's contribution to Rich's life was pretty big.
So for sure. I know Maverick Carter. I
those guys, hey man, they did their thing. You meet them, you met them at the right time. You became good friends with them at the right time.
I gotta tell you, man, you get the cards you dealt with in life.
Yeah. I mean, LeBron put his homies on.
He did.
Yeah.
And you gotta, whoever you are, Maverick, Rich, whoever, you gotta leverage all the relationships you have, all the cards you have, absolutely, to make the most out of it. And they definitely did. And props to them. But anyway, getting too far. Trae Young. I think Trae Young. It's just a rumor for now. I'd like to see if it actually materializes, because I feel like it's the type of thing where if you've been following the Lakers long enough, everybody gets linked to the Lakers. Almost nobody goes to the Lakers, right? For a long time until LeBron. That's how it was, man. You remember DeMarcus Cousins before he even went to the Warriors. DeMarcus Cousins was linked a long time before he eventually did come to the Lakers, right? But that was like post injury.
Tail end of his
you remember LaMarcus Aldridge?
I do remember
that was a big.
Honestly, there's just so many. I feel like it's just so many names that get linked to the Lakers because it's just everything. Everyone is possible, because it's like, I mean, sometimes it's Lakers fans stretching it, and I'll give them that. But
Luka 2026 for sure.
Yeah, but but there's just so many possibilities, because just coming to LA is so great. But real quick, just to show some love.
And agents are also using that as well, right? Because agents want to try to leverage that to get more money out of other teams and say, all right, well, they'll just go to the Lakers, right? I mean, at least if it's the Spurs, the Spurs will go bend over backwards to make sure the Lakers
make sure nobody comes to the Lakers, man. But yeah, show some love real quick. Daniel said it seems like Lakers lose on Wednesday. Well, we cannot lose this Wednesday, so that's big. Lifting, showing some love to you, Junior. Yep, he's new homie here. Lakers Fast Break family joining up here with us. Let me see, Condor. I hope I say your name right. John, we got to extend LeBron in the summer. Am I wrong? Honestly, like I've heard both ways of it. It's kind of hard to not extend LeBron, right? It's like, what are you gonna do? Just like
obligatory?
Yeah,
obligatory.
Right. There you go. I don't even know what that word means, but it sounds
you
like
you have to do it. You
have to do it. But then again, I already know when I say you have to do it, there's going to be people probably here in this chat and just in the world that's like, no, don't give him that much money. But it's like, all right, you don't give him that much money, like we have to understand what the pivot is after. And it's like, we don't even understand what the pivot is at this point. So unless you know and you got something up like under the table and up the sleeve as to what the pivot is, then I mean, you kind of have to, whatever that word was.
If LeBron walks if LeBron walks, period, right? Before there's a contingency plan in place for after he leaves, I don't know if AD sticks around. Like realistically, I would love for him to stick around. I love AD. Like I would love for him to stick around, but it's gonna be difficult, because then I don't know if he gets injured, then who's there to back him up, right? Who's his co-star? It could be D'Lo, but I feel like a player like D'Lo, we need to be getting something a little bit more to be that second star, right? And I feel like D'Lo is a perfect fit as a third star. He could really be I'm using that word star a little bit too lightly. D'Lo is a perfect fit as a third guy, as a third option.
Yeah.
The second option, he's got his games, but we need to see. I mean, since the trade deadline, D'Lo's been on absolute fire. But D'Lo's a player that's got a lot of ups and downs, and we need to see him consistently be more on the up, in order for us to, be, at least for me, to feel secure with him being the second option, in the post LeBron era. But we've had our off camera talks about who I think is coming to the Lakers eventually. Maybe not.
I already know. We'll get into that. Hi Octane. I don't know if I'll be able to make it to the playback, but I will be at the post game show, because usually I watch the Lakers game with my daughter, so we watch it together. I don't know if y'all want 3-year-old little girl yelling on the playback mic, but I will be in the post game show if y'all want to get at me. And then I'm Junior. Can you pronounce his name, Junior, here for us?
Endorphin.
Endorphin. Okay, there we go. I see. I'm not the greatest. I'm not the greatest.
I might mess it up, but it's all good. It's all love here, right?
Yeah, it's all love here. I'm not the greatest reader, but anyway, he said, "How do you feel about Vincent coming back?" I'm very glad you asked this, and for anyone that has put anything in the chat, I promise we will get to everybody's chat. Just we a little bit behind. We having great conversations, having a great time. But anyway. How do I feel about Gabe Vincent coming back? So here's how I feel about it. Honestly, I really worry that he may ruin any and all momentum that we have now built, right? Because I hear reports that he's now just getting into some non-contact at practice, and then soon, it'll upgrade to contact, and then he'll be able to finally get back in. But I think that, bringing him back in, I feel like at this point, we're 60 plus games into the season. We have found some type of groove. It may not be a good groove because we're 36-30 and we're sitting in the 9th seed, but we found some type of groove. Every team in the league has found some type of groove, whether it be a good groove or a bad groove or a medium groove. And I think that we're right there in that medium groove. And I think that bringing in Gabe Vincent, I worry that may mess up whatever type of momentum we do have, right? I seen something earlier about D'Angelo Russell, and he was talking about his he made some comments about Dennis Schroeder and Darvin Ham, and he was talking about how he couldn't really have a relationship with Darvin Ham last year because Dennis was there. But now that Dennis is gone, he's feel like he's able to have a relationship with them. And as you see, D'Angelo Russell's been playing a lot better this year than he has last year. And it kind of got me thinking, and something that I've said a lot is like D'Angelo Russell is a real rhythm type player. He's a real I need to feel accepted. I need to feel embraced. I need to know what my role is. And I think that he's starting to finally figure out what his role is. I know earlier in the season, Darvin Ham had him like 1 minute he's getting 25, next minute he's getting 7, then the other minute he's getting like DNPs, and then next game after that he's getting to another 25 minutes. So he was up and down. He's everywhere. He didn't even know what was going on, and he was playing bad. As soon as he started getting that consistent starting point guard role minutes, or just a consistent off the bench minutes, you saw that consistency you saw the shot start to go down. You saw him play with more confidence. And then boom, there comes the turn of the tide. Now he's our third quote unquote star, our third, important player on this team.
Third option, pretty much.
Third option, right? Mm-hmm. And now I feel like, you bring in Gabe Vincent, who plays that point guard role as well. I'm not saying, he's going to take D'Angelo Russell's spots, but that if you're adding in another player, I mean, everyone's minutes are just now going to get cut down, right? It's like we got a big old pizza and we had only two people to feed in Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell, but now we got 3 people to feed, right? So, and I think that you got to cut the minutes. Maybe you cut it fairly between Austin Reeves and D'Lo, or you just cut it out one way. But nonetheless, you're going to have to cut it, and I just don't know how good that's going to be for our momentum. And at this point, I worry that Gabe Vincent himself may come into that like, all right, like I need to get myself going, so I need to get shots up. But it's like, no. Like we are 60 games into the season, and the first 5 games you played, you only knocked down 1 3-pointer. Like, chill. We got a whole scheme already going on, and you've been sitting on the bench. So it's tricky because I'd love to have Gabe Vincent in full form come playoffs, or even just not be able to knock down that corner shot as a spot-up shooter as he was last year. But I just don't want to ruin what type of momentum that we got going. Long-winded, but go ahead.
I'm on the other side of the fence, actually. I actually do like Vincent coming back. I think the Lakers have been absolutely decimated by injuries this year. I mean, the team has played thin a lot of the games. I mean, you remember it was like first it was no Vando, then he comes back for a second, then Cam Reddish gets hurt, right? So it's just like always I feel like there's a piece of the puzzle missing. And I think where Gabe Vincent fits in the Lakers puzzle is that 3-point shooter. Now, obviously, D'Lo has stepped into that role tremendously especially over the last couple of weeks. Austin Reeves has stepped into this role, and I didn't expect Gabe Vincent to be taking minutes from those guys either. And I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Gabe Vincent is going to come in and he's going to take minutes that Max Christie's been getting, minutes that, end of the bench guys have been getting a little bit more, and just to at least get him back in the groove of things. And because I do think, I mean, look, I know we've talked about this before, and I know you've mentioned this before here on the pod as well, but we sometimes, the players that come from the Miami Heat sometimes don't see the play as well on the Lakers, right? And I know you cite Kendrick Nunn as a big reason or as a big example of that. But I think that Gabe Vincent came into this team to be a shooter, and the team is built around almost having like everybody's got their role, you know. And Gabe Vincent's role is to be, you know, a 3-point shooter, and I think he'll still be able to provide that role on the Lakers. Obviously, you know, you look at Malik Beasley. That was a great example. So it was Malik Beasley. He pulled a good Lou Williams off, where he was good before, not good during the Lakers tenure, good after, right? I mean, Malik Beasley had his games. I'm not gonna sit here and you know, just dog on him, but with Gabe Vincent, I feel that he does provide shooting. In theory, on paper, he is one of the better shooters that the Lakers have, and I don't think, you know, just for the sake of Max Christie losing minutes, that it's worth not playing him at all, or basically, you know, benching him. I actually want to get him on the court as soon as possible, so he can hit that groove as soon as possible and be serviceable and usable in the playoffs potentially as soon as possible. And we know in the playoffs, rotation shortened, right? So, like, I don't think Max Christie is going to see a lot of floor during the playoffs. Really, I mean, in theory, he should, and we've seen Darvin Ham surprise us with other things, right? But in theory, he shouldn't see a lot of floor in the playoffs because the rotations get so much shorter, and there's guys ahead of him that should be seeing more time, right? And maybe Gabe Vincent falls into that. But potentially, he doesn't, and he becomes somebody that could come off the bench and give you, I mean, I don't know, 3 threes, 4 threes. He gives you 12 points off the bench, you know? Like, that's not unheard of. And if you can do that role, that helps the Lakers out a lot. You know, it's kind of like Lonnie Walker. Remember, it was a game Lonnie Walker single-handedly won last season for us in the playoffs
against the Warriors. Cooking
Lonnie Walker, game 4, right?
Yes,
so I think Gabe Vincent's got the potential to do something like that for the Lakers as well, right? But obviously, with the addition of Dinwiddie, it makes it a little bit more tricky. There's more minutes to compete for, right?
Yeah.
But regardless, I mean, like I said, I think the minutes that Max Christie is getting, they could easily go to Gabe Vincent, and then you don't even have to chop a lot of guys' minutes off. Like, I don't think any of the starters should be losing minutes to Gabe Vincent. Not Anthony Davis. I mean, obviously not Anthony Davis. They play different positions, right? Yeah. But not D'Lo, not Austin Reeves, not LeBron, obviously. I don't think Rui should be losing minutes given the way that he's been playing. But Max Christie, he could lose some minutes to Gabe Vincent. You know, some of the bench guys could, is kind of how I think. So I'm happy about Gabe Vincent coming back.
Okay, that's real. And we got a record. We got right now a big number of people in here. We got 35 people in here jumping. Appreciate everybody in here, man. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Lakers Fast Break. Make sure you guys come mess with me. All my stuff I got going on. I got 2 channels. Clutch Talk, that's on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Lakers Corner, that's on YouTube, bringing you all type of Lakers content, man. But let's go ahead and keep it rolling, y'all. Anyway, I'm going to get to some more of these comments. Daniel said Josh Hart had a triple-double game. I got to check that out. Josh Hart did that. Kemp said, don't need Trey. Feel you. That was from back then. Rather have Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, me too.
Absolutely.
Hey, while we're at it, throw in Luka Doncic too, because I'd rather have them too.
What's going on, Dante? Good to see you, my brother. Happy to have you here. You got Devotion said we're so low in the standings because of Mr. Pockets, Mr. Warm Hands Ham. And then we got my guy Kurt in the building. Kurt, was good, Kurt? He said, what's good, John Jr. in chat. No beam better be lit tonight. Damn right. We are worried about them quick guards. Need to force some tough shots. Yeah. Great comment, Kurt. I'll get into that a little bit, and then Junior.
I did that with Damian Lillard in that game. If you watch the post game interview from Spencer Dinwiddie, he said on that last shot he wanted to force Dame to go right because Dame's left step back is deadly. That's exactly what he said, and I think we need to be forcing De'Aaron Fox to go right as well.
Yes, and then also to touch on that, honestly, I think that we seen last time like. And we know as Lakers fans, we struggle guarding perimeter defenders. I mean, like, we just don't have great perimeter defenders, especially with Cam and Vando being like
Vando's role.
Yeah, right. So especially with them being out, pretty sure Vando's still out for this game. I think Cam is questionable for this game. But with that, but with that being said, I think that honestly a good strategy, and I see a lot of teams actually doing this like with Luka this season, is like, all right, like we know we don't have what it takes to stop you. So like go get yours. Like I'm not saying that they're not going to guard De'Aaron Fox, but I would rather them just focus in on all 4 other players, right? Like last game, De'Aaron Fox went off and had 44 points, but then Malik Monk also had a big game. But then Davion Mitchell also hit like 5 threes or something like that. And that's what really killed us. It's like, De'Aaron Fox can go off for his 44. And I think a good strategy for us would be like, all right, we know we're not gonna stop De'Aaron Fox. Like, we know he's gonna put it on us whether we trying or not trying. So how about we, kind of like, I'm not saying let him score, but if he's got a free range to the hoop, all right, go ahead. You're gonna have to make this tough bucket over AD at the hoop. But I'm going to make sure you don't kick it out to nobody else. I'm going to make sure everybody else is in their position. Because at this point, honestly, we just got to, come to terms. We don't have those primary defenders to stop Vando like how we did to be able to stop Tyrese in the in-season tournament, right? So what we got to do is play to our advantage. So if that's the case, let's let De'Aaron get his, and let's just really, lock down the other guys. I think that's a good defensive strategy coming into tonight. I don't know how you feel. To add to that, Junior.
We got both Vanderbilt and Reddish out today. Okay, so it's going to be difficult on that perimeter defense for sure. So I agree. I mean, it's tough. I don't want to say let De'Aaron Fox cook, because he could cook for sure. And it's just about trying to get as many bodies in front of him. I mean, and just force him to take that shot. I'd rather him shooting from distance than getting up next to the rim and just laying it in. Because that's a difficult part, and then just trying to play a solid offensive game, because sometimes, I hate to say it, but sometimes the best defense is just scoring more points than the opposition, and that's exactly what happened in Milwaukee. Do you remember because of the injury troubles that we were having in the Milwaukee game, we had the big lead, and you just saw the lead shrink. Then AD gets hurt, and he's playing with like one shoulder, right? Yeah. And by the way, I want to talk about that a little bit more later when we have a little bit more time. But AD gets hurt, he's playing with one shoulder, and we're just watching that lead shrink. And then we're just seeing Giannis just kind of getting into the paint, getting what he wants. Dame was hitting threes, like it was just like, you've seen this movie before, right? And I literally said, I was like, our defense here is just going to have to be scoring more points. And thankfully, that's exactly what D'Lo did. He just provided more points for us and got us a win. And I think we're going to have to employ a similar strategy, where it's just we're going to have to score a ton of points. And we need AD protecting the paint, not getting into early foul trouble, because if he can be there and take care of the paint, then, best case scenario, you're forcing De'Aaron Fox to take some difficult shots. And, he's the baller. He'll get his, but statistically speaking, he's less likely to make difficult shots than easy shots, right? So that's what we want to force him into.
There you go. Great strategy for tonight. And then offensively, AD better attack, man. We were literally talking about this earlier today. Kevon Looney just put his head down and attack Sabonis. So AD better be able to put his head down and just attack Sabonis. And he better not settle for those mid-range jumpers. Because if he's settling for those mid-range jumpers tonight, you guys that's here with me in the live stream, come check me out in the post game, because I'm gonna be so livid. I'm gonna be so mad if AD is just settling for those mid-range jumpers, because that means he's just not trying to go through contact with Sabonis, which is just absolutely unacceptable for the player that AD is compared to Sabonis. So
get me out there. I'll go in contact with them.
Come on, Sabonis, bring me and give me AD money. I'll go in contact with whoever. I'm not
I know.
Whoever.
Close with Joel Embiid.
What's good, y'all? What's good? Was just saying, everybody saying what's good. Let me see here. Let's get to some of the chat. Kurt, funny, he said, even if we get Trae Young, Darvin Ham wouldn't know what to do with him. Yep.
Did Darvin Ham's time in Atlanta coincide with Trae Young's or no?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I have no idea. But I think it actually did, because I think that's when he coached Taurean Prince, because I know Taurean Prince has been in the Hawks. But Problem Child and Jenner, this where I'm gonna need your help, because I'm not gonna lie, guys. Problem Child, appreciate the comment, my brother. We're getting to it right now. You said, what's the max that I'd pay D'Lo, right? And honestly, I'm not big on I'm not a big very like numbers guys. Like I'm more like hoop basketball wise. I'm learning that side and the CBA side of it a lot more. But right now, I looked up D'Lo's. He's on a 36 2 years, which is 18 a year. Which is 18 a year. Y'all tell me, this is crazy or not. I don't know. To be honest, I don't really know numbers like that. But I mean, I think at the max, like, but the way D'Lo's been playing, we want to really we want to keep him if we're going to continue to try to contend. I'd say at the max pay him like what 20, 22 a year or something like that, which I don't know the total number of that, what that would be, but yeah, anywhere of like 20, 21, maybe 22 at max per year. To be honest, that's what I'm thinking. Y'all let me know in the chat, or Jimmy, you let me know.
It depends a lot on how long the contract is, right?
Okay,
if he's on, if he's on a 5-year contract and we're paying him, 25 mil a year for the next 5 years, we're tying up a lot of cap space, right? Which I don't think is a good idea. But I'd be willing to pay him, maximum up to maybe I say 25 million in 1 year, right? Like if we were to give him like a 1-year deal, or maybe 2 years, 50 million, which I think is even probably pushing it. But I think 21, 22 is probably where I'd really like him at. I love him at 18. At 18 million, I don't think we're getting a lot of better players for that much money, right now. So at 18, it's great, but it depends a lot, to answer Problem Child's question, it depends a lot on who we have built around as well, right? Because if we're paying D'Lo 25 mil a year when we could be paying him 21, and now that $4 million a year makes a difference of whether or not we can sign someone else that could fill out the roster better, it makes a big difference. It's like how you were talking about on you and Jay actually on Clutch Talk. It's the value you get for that player. So maximum, I think, to answer Problem Child question, I'd say it's probably around 22 million. Absolute max, I'd say 25, but that's everything else off the lineup. We're gonna have to get some good players on good discounts in order to be able to afford D'Lo at 25, and that's a lot. It's kind of like how the way it worked out now. I'll say Rob Pelinka has been getting a lot of shit recently, but I think he did a great job this offseason. D'Lo signed on a friendly deal, and so is Austin Reeves. I think these guys could have gotten more money elsewhere.
Absolutely, especially the way Reeves ended the season last year. But
yeah, and he started slow too. Maybe give me. I was like, damn. I've seen this before, but he's been coming through recently. Like I think he's earning his money now, and and I'm all for paying players more, man. Like, give me more production. Show me why I should be paying you 25 mil a year, 30 mil a year. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like,
I like it.
Give me that reason to do it, and I'm happy to do so. LeBron gets a blank check right now, right? The way he's playing, damn near 40. The only thing that's tough is his age, right? Like, when is that decline going to come? Anthony Davis, when he brings it, it's like you always say, he has it to bring it, and sometimes he doesn't, and it's frustrating. But when he brings it, he also is a blank check type of guy.
Yep. Jay, I feel you. His hands are still in his pocket. I'm right there with you, Jay. Let's see. Heavy duty. Johnny, you bringing back him next season? I hope not. But unfortunately, I do think he is coming back because I think he's Rob and Jeannie's shield. So that they don't get in trouble by the media, so they don't get ridiculed. Darvin Ham will get ridiculed. So he's great comment. Yeah, he's a scapegoat. Great comment. But I don't think that that we should bring him back. Kurt, we need to hypnotize Gabe to the innings in Miami. Agreed.
There's enough clubs in LA to do that.
Let's see. D'Lo had a good game against the Bucks. Now you guys want to keep him. The Bucks are, I think you meant to say mid. They are day to the Lakers without LeBron. Who could you lose to? Lakers without LeBron. Bucks are hot garbage.
I don't think the Bucks are bad. I think the Bucks are a good team.
They're number 2 team in the East. They're a championship contender, but I guess that's how you feel.
I think the Bucks are solid. I mean, shit. If you told me I could swap out rosters right now, I'm taking that.
I'll take it. I'll take it. But all right. I feel you, Luis. Or Louis. Jay. I've heard that too. Too. Partially of D'Angelo Russell's comments, he was saying that. I've heard this on multiple sources.
The thing is, like, who do we bring in if we get rid of Darvin Ham? Like,
I'm not. Like that's the thing. Like my job isn't to find coaches, but I do think that there is coaches out there, and and I've said this a couple of streams ago. I know, Mark Jackson's like, getting put in the box by the NBA for his religion beliefs or whatever. But I think Mark Jackson's a great coach. Some of y'all, if y'all know some great coaches, like go ahead, throw them up in the chat. But
I constantly think about Monty Williams. Monty Williams is the guy I wanted before the Lakers signed Frank Vogel. Mm-hmm. And how long is he going to last in Detroit, right? They suck. So it's just like
he got paid though. He got paid.
I know. But if he gets severed from his contract, the Lakers don't got to pay that contract, right? I'm pretty sure, unless he gets traded. I don't even know if coaches can get traded. Like, actually, I think they can. Yeah. I think Doc Rivers got traded.
Rivers got traded. I was going to say that. Yeah.
But if he gets fired by the Pistons own that money, not the Lakers, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, could Monty Williams be a good option? Like, I don't know, but he's probably better than Darvin Ham, right? It's just, or put Darvin Ham in Detroit. They probably still not have a win.
Through the wire, I agree. Darvin Ham doesn't run his team. LeBron and it's LeBron and Jeannie just follows LeBron around and really does whatever he says. Real quick, Kurt, appreciate you, my dog. Yeah, come check me out. Lakers Corner, get at me, YouTube channel. I also got Clutch Talk YouTube channel, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Jay, appreciate you showing some love. Let me see. Wolves are the other night were, what is that word?
Decimated with injuries.
No,
by no means, Louis. I don't think we think that the Lakers are, title contenders or anything like that. Like, I think it was a great win, a win that the Lakers needed. So it's like, if that's how we came across, that's not our intention. Our intention is just to say it was a win that the Lakers desperately needed.
You play who's in front of you, Louis. You
gotta play who's in front of you.
Who's in front of you.
Yeah,
that's
for
it.
sure. I mean, it was a win that the Lakers needed and they got. And that makes me happy.
Joe, what's up, Joe? Joe, what's the deal? Joe said, what the hell is this? Joe, this is me and my brother. We live, man. We live, Joe. We having a great time talking some Lakers stuff, Lakers content. Joe, Jay said, we found your replacement, Joe. Come on, Joe. We could never replace you. We just got my brother here. We just talking some hoops here. But we still gonna see you later tonight on the post game at Nightcap, Joe. Let's see. Yep, Rondell said it. A win is a win at Louis. A win is a win, baby. Let me see.
Everyone counts the same. Whether you beat the Clippers, whether you beat the Pistons, or whether you beat the Celtics.
Yeah, I mean, the Clippers pretty good. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Gabe should get Reddish's minutes. Reddish is toast, man. Toast.
I like you, Reddish.
I like him on some defense. I like
defensively, right?
Yeah,
there's definitely some times where I get frustrated with Cam Reddish, but I don't disagree though. I think like Cam Reddish is exactly the type of player that would lose some minutes to Gabe Vincent. I don't think he should lose all his minutes to Gabe Vincent. I think it's all about fit too, right? Like what kind of team? If we're playing the Celtics, I think Cam Reddish needs to be getting a lot of minutes, right? Because we really need that perimeter defense against those guys. But
Rondell saying it's disruptive to
the inconsistent.
Yeah,
There's a couple of players that are inconsistent on this team, but it's the defensive aspect for Cam Reddish. Same thing for Jerry Vanderbilt. You remember we were praising his name up and down last season near the playoffs, right? And he was giving us 3, 4, 5 points a game, but it wasn't for his offensive output. It's for his defensive output that we really needed him there.
Yeah, exactly. I think to the in-season tournament, that's when his defensive prowess is really showing up big, going up against Tyrese Halliburton. Deep Purple said, John and Junior, when are you taking shots with Joe for the nightcap? Junior, Joe be coming on here for the nightcap after the post game, and sometimes people give him they do little donations, and they be like last time I was on here, they gave him $50 for 3 shots in 90 seconds, and he just downed him. Yeah, Joe's a monster, man.
Joe's a champ, man.
I definitely can't. And then Joe said, "Look," he said, "John weighs the same as my right leg. I doubt he can hang." Yeah, Joe, I could definitely not hang with the drinking. That's all you, brother. That is all you, Danny from LA. Yes, this is a great poster. As a matter of fact, the other brother on the screen right there got it for me. So appreciate you, Junior.
Of course. A great poster. I got that Kobe hat on today too. Always repping.
Yeah, always repping. Let's see. JY Hen said, is he too quick to get physical with? It seems like he's never on the ground when he plays Lakers. Are you talking about Anthony Davis, or who are you talking about here? Let us know. Yeah, Johnny, you crazy. Hire someone who doesn't put their hands in their pocket. I think that's great. Or just hire someone.
A new requirement moving forward for coaches.
Just like you. I think they should do a requirement like, can you run an offense? Like prior to you signing this check, are you able to run an offense? So let's see. Jay said, do we resign LeBron or no? We got into that earlier. I think you kind of have to, right? Unless you know the direction you're going. Unless you have some, like I said, under the table, you're like, all right, cool. post LeBron era, here's what we got. But unless you got something going on, the way he's playing, what's that word he used?
Oh, it's obligatory.
Obligatory.
Like, we absolutely have to. Yeah, and but you know what the thing is too? It depends a lot on LeBron James Jr., right? Like, where is he going? Because I've been saying this since LeBron was. I'm pretty sure it was his first stint with with the Heat rather. That when Bronny comes into the league, LeBron's going to go wherever Bronny goes. I still believe that's going to happen.
Me too.
I still believe that's going to happen. Wherever Bronny goes, LeBron's going to go. And there's 29 other teams, right? So he may not end up on the Lakers. And what I don't want, the only thing I don't want for the Lakers to do, and it's very possible, is LeBron to walk for nothing. LeBron to walk for nothing. I either need some sort of contingency plan in place or fuck, man, do a sign and trade if we have to. You remember Kevin Durant? When Kevin Durant left the Warriors, they did a sign and trade with the Brooklyn Nets that eventually got him D'Lo, which eventually got him Andrew Wiggins, which eventually got him another title, right? Durant could have walked for nothing. Instead, he helped him out a ton with that sign and trade, right? Like, if it really came to it, I mean, I would love to keep LeBron. I would really like for LeBron to even retire as a Laker. I would really say that. I would be 100% on board with that. But if he doesn't, I mean, he's not Kobe. He's not the guy who played his entire career for the Lakers, right? And I understand. I mean, he's going to want to play with his son. Who wouldn't, right? Who's fortunate enough to make the NBA and then be good enough for as long as you can to be able to actually play with your son, who's also good enough to play in the NBA, right? So it's just, if he doesn't retire with the Lakers, I'm not going to, hold the grudge against that at all. But I would at least like for him to not leave us high and dry. And then we're just stuck with, maybe AD sticks around, maybe he doesn't. I don't want to be back to those post-Kobe days because I got to tell you, those are rough, man. They were rough. Like, it was 15-win seasons. And if that's what we got to do. I ride with my squad. But, man,
Robert Sacre. Yeah, that was tough. That definitely was tough. Real quick, Adam, who's the guest? This is my brother, Junior, my homie. So that's what we got here tonight. Dante, he said, John, you in LA going to any games? I actually do. I actually live in the Bay Area. My brother, he live dang, my fault, y'all. He live over there closer to LA. Jenner, he's staying like one of them surrounding cities. And he be going to LA games sometimes. So maybe I'll, link up my brother. I'm trying to go down there to go to a game, but it just be so damn expensive to get to these Lakers games.
We'll be there. I was at the I've been to a handful of games, but I was the probably one of the better games I've been to recently was that game 4 against the Grizzlies. Oh my goodness. In the playoffs last season, overtime win, LeBron clutch, Anthony Davis clutch, heroics. It was probably the craziest basketball game that I've ever been to live. It was absolutely insane. Harassing Dylan Brooks. Absolutely harassing that man. I was violating that man from the stand. but it was a ton. It was a ton of fun, man. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it again. I think the good thing is the Lakers will at least be in the play-in because I don't think the Jazz are catching the 10th seed. But it's definitely something I'm looking forward to this year, hopefully.
Yeah. Adam said I thought LeBron was going to retire at 40. Looks 42.
Maybe we'll see. He's pulling that Tom Brady. He's going to play until he's 45.
That's crazy, honestly. Yeah, that really is crazy.
That would never happen back in the day, by the way. We've come a long way for that to happen.
Come a long, long way. LeBron is a pioneer to that. So we are all caught up on all the comments. So again, y'all want to keep up with any? Y'all want to put any comments on here? Y'all let me know. We can get into any of that. I guess let me ask you about okay, what's a favorable matchup you want for the playoffs? Like who are you looking for come playoffs?
Oklahoma on the off jump, dude. We have their number. And from the games, obviously, we played regular season.
Perfect transition right here. Perfect. Go ahead.
Oklahoma is who I'd like. I'll tell you, to be honest, I think we could beat Oklahoma. I think it'd be tougher, but I think we could beat Minnesota. I'll tell you, and I hate to say it, but I've got to be realistic. I'm not going to say, the Lakers are going to absolutely swipe the West. But Denver and the Clippers, I think, would be tough matchups for the Lakers. I think everything else is serviceable. I'm not going to say they're favorites, but they're winnable matchups. I think it's going to be a really, really tough battle matchup-wise for the Lakers to beat those two teams. But if I could choose anybody, it would be Oklahoma. I mean, obviously, out of the top 4, right? I mean, assuming we don't, somehow make, I don't think we're cracking the top 4. So best case would be 5th place, which means playing a 4th seed Clippers. So Oklahoma and Minnesota are the 2 teams out of the top 4 that I'd like to see.
Yeah,
Oklahoma being number one. How about you?
I'm right there with you. I also want to face Oklahoma more than
Young team
anybody.
too.
Yeah, you said what?
Young team.
Yeah,
A lot of it's experience. Playoffs is different.
Exactly right, and that's what I keep harping on. Playoffs is different, and because our best player and our number one way that our team is going to be successful is through Anthony Davis. Yeah. And Anthony Davis, I think, can just not that Chet isn't good, but he can feast on Chet, take advantage of the little LBs that Chet got, and also the inexperience that Chet got, and he can take advantage of that. And he could also take advantage of the Minnesota Timberwolves, but the only thing is that they just have Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, Karl-Anthony Towns, just so many different looks to send at him. And when you put Rudy Gobert on him as a primary, I mean, you could put Karl-Anthony Towns on him as a primary defender, and then
he's even back.
Yeah, right. But that's the thing. Like, even if he doesn't come back, you can still put Naz Reid on him as a primary defender and let Rudy Gobert like roam in a secondary defender, and then it makes it hard because it's not like for the Nuggets, right? When I think of the Nuggets all the time, and if you have a chance to watch the Nuggets, everybody out there, like, go watch the Nuggets and watch how like the second that Jokic gets the ball, when he has a mismatch, which is like a lot of the league, because Jokic is a big, like, kind of, I don't want to say fat, but like he just like he's
a large dude for sure. He's a difficult guy to move.
He's a difficult guy to move. So when he moves you, like he puts that shoulder in your chest, you're gonna move, right? So what happens then? That forces your teammate on the other team to come double, and when he comes double, all of a sudden you get Aaron Gordon cutting backdoor, and then you just got Jokic throwing that backdoor pass. We don't cut very good backdoor. We don't have damn near any motion backdoor. It's just like usually a 5-out offense, and it's a pick and roll, and it's just like, all right, like let's just try to get something. And I blame that on Darvin Ham because we have no motion, off ball cuts and whatnot. So I say all that to say that, AD can just take that one-on-one matchup with Chet versus with Minnesota Timberwolves. It requires us to play a lot more team ball, which I just haven't seen us do so far this season, to be honest.
To be honest, man, Denver, I just don't want to see.
Bro. Like, look, you just got to admit when a team is better than you. Like, they're just better than us.
And that's why I have no qualms about last year's playoffs. Like, obviously, it sucks to get swept.
Yeah.
And that was the craziest thing, because I'm pretty sure every game was like less than 10 points.
Getting swept is crazy. And what pisses me off, too, is the fact that, like, players on the Minnesota Timberwolves are going around doing podcasts and saying, like, oh, our hardest matchup was the first round. Like, all right, chill. But anyway, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was saying that Denver would be a tough team to beat. Don't let the standings fool anybody. Like, Denver's the best team in the West. They can finish 4th seed. They're the best team in the West, right?
For sure.
And the Clippers, like, a little bit harder, but I think we get a game or two out of them. Getting 4 is going to be a little bit tougher. Minnesota,
the Clippers are just a better team than us too. I ain't gonna lie.
Minnesota, yeah. Unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it,
yeah.
But Minnesota, it's that's a 6-game series either way, but probably even 7. Oklahoma, I like that matchup. And then, but that's the thing. It's just like you get to the playoffs, and it's as like we were talking about earlier, rotation shorten and depth doesn't matter so much. And the other thing too, I mean, sorry, I'm not gonna say depth doesn't matter, but with shorter rotations, you're not relying on as many number of players. But obviously, if injuries come up, obviously you need depth. So I don't want that to be taken out of context. But the thing about the Thunder in specific is the whistle gets swallowed a lot more in the playoffs. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a player that benefits a lot from driving and getting foul calls, right? I'm not saying he's a foul merchant and he only scores because he gets calls. SGA is a fantastic player, great player. But when he's getting less calls, it's going to affect how effective he is a lot in the playoffs. And it's just a fact. Like, you get less whistles in the playoffs. The refs let you play on more, right? So I'm curious how that's going to affect SGA's game or how he adapts to it, right? It's almost an unknown there that I'd like to see a little bit more of, and I think some of the Lakers can take advantage of, especially a team like the Lakers that, like we were talking about, specializes in playing defense without fouling. It's gonna be interesting to see how that translates in the playoffs, and that's why that's the matchup I want. But it's tough, I think there is it's tough at the end of the season. Teams start playing like, oh, I want to get this matchup, and then they'll start losing games intentionally, dropping games to try to kind of mess with the standings and try to get more favorable matchups. So wherever the chips fall, the chips fall. I just want the Lakers to go out there, and really just play their brand of basketball. You watch a lot of I could transition here into a parallel with soccer, but you watch a team, Manchester City, play. They're a very, very dominant team, right? And then you watch them play the season recently. They've been starting a lot of games on the back foot, but they still end up winning the game at the end of the game. And you hear the coach at the end, they always say, and the players that say the same thing. They don't panic. They don't start, now start playing this flustered game. They just stick to their game plan. They do what they do, and they eke out the results. And I think the same thing can be happening with the Lakers here. You got to stick to your game, play that physical brand. And sometimes the Lakers will fall in a game and they just start chucking up three after three after three, and it's not falling, and they're still chucking them up when their game needs to be in the post, when their game needs to be in the paint, when it needs to be feeding Anthony Davis, and maybe that's partially on Darvin Ham for drawing up plays that maybe aren't going through AD or aren't going through LeBron, but it's about sticking to what your strengths are and playing them out, because over 48 minutes, you should still have that advantage. That's how I feel about it.
Nah, facts. That's real. That's real. And if we got any soccer fans in the chat, let us know. Represent. Jenner, let's go ahead and get into these last couple things, and then we'll wrap up here. We do got the Lakers game tonight. We will be Lakers fast break here. We will be doing pregame, playback, and then postgame, and then nightcaps. Make sure y'all stay tuned for that. But let's just get. I don't know. Tell me what you read of these comments. This is kind of big to put on the screen, but basically, this is what I can read it off to you. This is what D'Angelo Russell said, referring to Dennis Schroeder. He said his relationship with Ham is the reason I couldn't have a relationship with Darvin. Russell said, when I was struggling, I would have been able to come to coach and say, bro, this is what we should do. Like, I can help you. Instead, there was no dialogue. I just accepted it. We got swept. I'm here. He's not. I like our chances. Bold statement by D'Lo. What do you make anything of this, or is this just like a whatever?
Yeah, I mean that's bold. As a fan, I hate to see that coming out, this late in the game. I don't want to see anything shaking up the boat a little bit too much. But I think it's like I said, I'm not a huge fan of seeing those type of statements out there right now. I'd like to see more unity and cohesion, especially towards the end of the season right now. So it's a tough thing to read, but I think I want to just focus on the fact that we're hopefully, striding towards more wins and more,
winning clears everything.
And exactly, more wins and hopefully, better standings, better seedings. But it's tough. I didn't know there was such friction, between. I'm assuming when you say he's here and I'm here and he's not, he's talking about Dennis Schroeder.
Yep, exactly.
But it's difficult. I mean, yeah, Ham played a lot of favoritism to Dennis Schroeder. And sometimes it was to a fault, but there were a couple of games there that Dennis Schroeder actually kind of saved our bacon last season.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like D'Lo wasn't doing what he's doing right now last season, right? Like so especially in the playoffs. So it's like some of it was deservingly so.
I mean, he disappeared in that Denver series.
Yeah,
a lot of those games.
Granted, that Denver is that much better of a team, though. Like they made so many players disappear.
They are, but the thing is, what we were just talking about, every game was a sweep, but the series was a sweep, but every single game was close. Every single game was close, right? If we could have had more, I mean, I don't even know how many points D'Lo was averaging, but it couldn't have been more than 10 points a game, right? So it could have had just 15, 16 points a game out of D'Lo. Do you remember the record? I think it was when the D'Lo scored 17 points or more, the Lakers were undefeated, or they had like one loss.
Yeah.
Right. And 17 is, I'm not asking the guy to drop 35 every night. He's 17. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to say that's 100% on D'Lo. Obviously, with these comments coming out now, you see that's got to, he maybe wasn't having the best locker room experience. He wasn't having the best relationship with the head coach, which makes it tougher. But, there are definitely statements that he's saying now when he's balling. But if you would have said that last season, I would have been like, man, get this guy out of here.
Man, come on, D'Lo. Come on. Yeah, it's always easier to say something in hindsight, but I feel you, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, as a coach, part of being a coach is not only X and O's, but it's just like having a good relationship with your players and not playing favoritism. And I hear he plays favoritism and doesn't have a great relationship with his players. So hopefully he's on the way out soon. But all right, Junior, we're about to hit an hour here on the live. Last topic, unless somebody wants to throw something in the chat, we can get into last topic. Junior, Lakers vs. Kings tonight. Can I get some predictions?
Like a final score or just
Like
win?
maybe like yeah. I mean, of course, I know you probably want us to win, but like, yeah,
I think we will
guess
win.
predict the final score, predict who's gonna be an MVP of the game, who's gonna be a big time player for us, and just give me any thoughts on tonight, I guess.
I think the Lakers pull this one out. I think they're coming off two good wins. Two good wins. It's a critical game. We dropped the game in LA. I almost said Staples. I still kind of want to call it Staples because Crypto.com Arena just doesn't sound right. But it was two games. We coming off two games. We dropped the game against the Kings in LA. And I think the Lakers aren't going to go out. I think LeBron's going to end up coming through and being our MVP of the game here. I mean, it's not a hot take by any means, right? But I think he has that onus on him. I know he's actually listed as questionable for this game, so he may not even play.
He's listed for questionable, I think, every game.
Every game, right? Yeah. So it's tough. I mean, he's listed as questionable. So, if he plays, though, I do think he's going to strive out there to just kind of put the team on his back and lead in the way where he's facilitating, he's creating opportunities for other guys and creating opportunities for himself. Like you said, he looks to get his teammates going first because he knows he can kind of just turn that up at any moment. And I think we're going to see a lot of the same thing tonight. He's going to look to keep D'Lo going. D'Lo's got the hot hand over the last couple of games. He's going to look to keep D'Lo going. He's going to look to feed AD early. I mean, AD, his games are very telling. Usually, by the end of the first quarter, what kind of game AD is going to have. I mean, yeah, there's exceptions. There's games where he's played garbage in the first half and has absolutely come alive in the third and fourth. I can name a few this season alone. But I think he's going to look to get AD going early because it's going to help that confidence, help that momentum, because like you said, AD surely must know that we all know he's 0-9 against Sabonis, right? He must know this. So you get AD in there rolling early. It's going to help his confidence. It's going to help his momentum. You get D'Lo rolling. He's going to feel like he's still going on this hot streak, right? And then all that comes, I think, from LeBron facilitating these players, making it happen, and then turning it on for when he needs to kind of get us through the finish line and get the dub tonight. So that's what I think.
I like it. My MVP for tonight is going to be Anthony Davis, and this is no surprise to nobody because of exactly what you said. There's just no way he doesn't hear.
You're
0-10? Come on, dog. You're going to go 0-10 for someone that you're better than? Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. Like, at some point, you got to take the pride. Like, I know this is not a one-on-one game. Yeah, at some point, you got to take it personal. And especially, it's like, it's not like he's like, it's not like I'm saying freaking Colin Castleton is 0-9 against Sabonis. Like Colin Castleton, right. But like Colin Castleton isn't even getting the same minutes as Sabonis. So even if he wanted to take it personal, he couldn't do nothing to change the game because he's not going to see enough minutes on the floor to even be able to out there and make a change. But it's like AD. Like the offense can run through him. If Anthony Davis says, "Give me the ball is going to him." Okay, like if he says, "Hey, yo, scratch that, give me the ball," like there's just no way the ball doesn't go to him unless it's LeBron James. I don't think there's anyone on this team that's like, no, I'm gonna look AD off. Like I don't think no one's gonna do it on this team unless you're LeBron James. So I'll say all that to say, I think Anthony Davis has to take it personal. Anthony Davis needs to have some pride in him and say, you know what? The Lakers fast break, John Jr., everybody's over here talking about me. I'm not gonna go for this. I'm gonna show Lakers corner. I'm gonna show Clutch Talk. I'm gonna show Junior. I'm gonna show John. I'm gonna show Gerald. I'm gonna show Joe. I'm gonna show everybody that I'm better than this Sabonis guy because not only am I more talented than him, not only am I taller than him, not only do I weigh more than him, but I've put in more work than him. I'm a more accomplished player than him. So let me go show the world.
NBA champion.
I'm an NBA champion.
Should have been Defensive Player of the Year that season.
Let me show the world that I'm better than him. Let me dominate this guy when the whole world is talking about it. ESPN nationally televised game, okay? And let me come through and get my team a big win. So I'm rocking with Anthony Davis tonight. Chat, I hope y'all rocking with AD. I don't know who y'all rocking with, but feel free to let us know. This was a great stream, Junior. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for coming in here, rocking with us. You have any last things you want to say before we skedaddle?
No, man. It's a critical stretch now. We're getting to the best part. We're the lead up to the playoffs. It's a critical stretch now where every game matters, and it's a special time. It's a special time for sports in general. So I'm very excited. We got to get these dubs. It's not an easy schedule ahead. So every winnable game we need to win, and we need to peel off some unwinnable games too. And we've been doing a good job doing that in the past, recently, I'd say. But I know I'd like to just continue seeing that upwards momentum, and hopefully that means us ending at least 7th or 8th seed. Because I am, you get 7th or 8th seed, you get to at least play 2 play-in games.
Yes,
you get
sir.
9th or 10th, it's 1 game. If you're off that 1 game, you're done for, So
yes, sir. Yes,
need to get these dubs over the last couple of games here, and especially against the teams we're playing directly against. Warriors, the Kings need to be smoking these guys, and it starts tonight.
Yes, sir. It starts tonight, y'all. Once again, y'all come check me out, man. Come check me out. I got 2 channels. I got Clutch Talk, which is right here, man. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, bringing you two NBA content per week, man, giving you a weekly recap show and just another episode. It's a little bit more focused on one team or another, so come check me out, man. And I also got another channel. It's called Lakers Corner, and that is on YouTube, man. Come check me out on that. Bringing you all type of Lakers content. But as always, y'all, this Lakers therapy session has been very, very fun. Appreciate all 24 y'all that's tapped up in here in the chat right now. Appreciate you guys, and hey, man, go Lakers. Hopefully you get a win tonight. Move up the standings.
Sure, man. Like John said, can't recommend Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner enough. Check that out. It's great content, especially if you like basketball. Like me, I was telling at the beginning of the show, I was telling John, I was like, look, man, I know a lot of basketball because I was on Earth before you, but John, he really gets into every detail, and it's like, for somebody that can't follow every game, can't watch every game, all you got to do is tune into Clutch Talk, and he's got you covered. He'll full NBA coverage, and the guys here at Lakers Fast Break do a great job as well. John's doing a great job at Lakers Corner and covering Lakers content. So, just follow up with all 3 channels, and you'll be set. You'll get coverage for the best team and the rest of the league.
Yes, sir, man. Get at us, man. Get at us. But for now, we out of here, y'all. Deuces.
Peace.